Hello and welcome to Positively United today, Sunday the 18th of January 2026. And this video is my five takeaways from yesterday's game between United and City. Fantastic performance by United, 2-0 victory. What can we learn from it? Well, I think the first thing is, do you need any more proof that it was right for Ruben Amorim to be sacked? When you look at that performance, and I reviewed it yesterday and did my player ratings, chalk and cheese the performance compared to the performances we've seen over the last several months. In fact, probably the whole of the Amorim tenure. A performance that was a truly Manchester United performance. The best I've seen since the Ollie years by some distance. And I know people will say that we had good performances in Europe last season. We had good performances in patches last season, but we also had performances that upped and down in the same game last season. Yesterday was a good, it wasn't just good, it was an absolutely excellent, proper Manchester United performance, playing with organisation, energy, attacking intent, penetration, wonderful finishes. It was a real proper Manchester United performance, and if we needed any more evidence that it was right to get Ruben Amorim, forget about the arguments or the arguments that we're meant to believe happened between him and Jason Wilcox. It was right to get rid of Amorim on the results we were getting, but also more than that on the performances that our team were putting in under his management. It was right for him to go. And the second takeout I've got, which is actually related to it, is what a player we've got in Kobbie Mainoo. And how on earth did Ruben Amorim keep him out of the team for so long? It's just yet another reason why Ruben Amorim was not the right man for Manchester United. Kobbie Mainoo represents everything that is Manchester United, an academy graduate, the kind of player that we like watching at United, the kind of player who can knit together defence and attack in ways that are just central to the Manchester United way of doing things. And yet this was a player that Ruben Amorim kept out of the team for months and months and months on end, to the extent that Kobbie was begging to be let out on loan last summer, and again probably would have done exactly the same this January. By the way, does it ever work? Does anybody actually work out that the reason that he wanted to go out on loan and never once suggested he wanted to go out permanently was because Kobbie knew that Amorim wouldn't be around forever, or would likely not be around forever? And doesn't that say something? When players in your squad know that you're not going to be around? Yeah. Just yet another reason why Amorim had to go. Brilliant performance by Kobbie. Great to see him now reintegrated into the team. I'm not going to say it's like another signing, but between now and the end of this season, to see Kobbie Mainoo in a fully functional three-man midfield with Casemiro and Fernandes will just be absolutely wonderful. And that's my third takeout. Bruno Fernandes' performance yesterday was just superb. So not only did Ruben Amorim keep Mainoo out of the squad and out of the team for a season, since the summer he played Bruno Fernandes out of his best position, in a central midfield position withdrawn from his normal number 10. Yesterday, we saw him in his normal number 10 position, and it absolutely shone out, didn't it, that that's his best position. You play Bruno in his best position, and he's the best number 10 in the Premiership. He really is. And we saw that yesterday. It was a magnificent performance yesterday in the review of the game. I gave him an 8 out of 5 for the player ratings. 8.5 for player ratings. He deserved it. He was really excellent. So the first three takeaways are all to do, in a sense, with Ruben Amorim. It was right for him to go. He was wrong to keep Mainoo out of the team for so long, and he was wrong to play Bruno Fernandes out of position for so long. And my fourth takeaway from yesterday's game is doesn't matter how much you love past players, idolise them, hero worship them as true legends of the club. It doesn't automatically mean that what they say makes any sense. And look, lots of people have had their say about what Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt had to say about Martinez, and that Martinez shouldn't play against City because Erling Haaland would just dominate him. What was it? Put him in his pocket and pick him up and take him home, or put him in the net, or whatever it was they said. He got a lot of criticism, and boy, did Martinez ram it down their throats yesterday. It was a magnificent performance by Martinez. Absolutely wonderful. And, of course, the stats should have shown that was likely to be the case. In most of the games that Martinez has played against Haaland, he's got the upper hand of Haaland, and he did yesterday. Substituted after 80 minutes, was it just slightly less, and looking very, very crestfallen. When we scored the third goal that really wasn't a third goal, but really was a third goal, and the cameras, focused on the City bench, Haaland looked like he was chewing a wasp. He looked absolutely bitter, didn't he? Sat there, having contributed virtually nothing to the game. But the great thing about Martinez's performance is I think it also brought out the best in Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire had an equally good game, in my opinion. I thought they were both tremendous, our centre-backs. And I think one of the things that we can take away from yesterday's game is if you put Harry Maguire in the right context, he is a superb player. He really is. He can be exposed in certain situations, but if you build a team around his strengths, or you put together a team pattern around his strengths, he's a very, very fine player. A very, very fine player indeed. And I think the takeaway there is, do you ever get the feeling that Amorim did pick players and a system not just to get the best out of people, but to diminish their weaknesses? Because that's an important part of football as well. You can't just build a team around people's positives. You also have to take account of the things they don't do quite so well. It's just common sense to do that. Don't expose people. Don't expose their weaknesses. Try and put together a team pattern that in a sense covers up their weaknesses, that nullifies their weaknesses. And, yet again, I don't think that Amorim at any time during his time as head coach at United ever effectively did that. So, my fourth takeaway still refers to Amorim. If he'd have put together a team and an approach and a team pattern, a team formation that accentuated the strengths but also made allowances for weaknesses, we would have been in a far better position over the last year and a bit. So finally, my final takeaway is this. What an absolutely fantastic start to Michael Carrick's time as head coach of Manchester United. Now, we've had lots of people saying that under no circumstances should he be offered the role permanently into next season, no matter how well he does. Really? What, no matter how well he does? So if Manchester United finish second or third in the Premiership this season, he shouldn't be offered the job. And if we will qualify for Europe, we might be second or third. And let's imagine he plays the kind of football that we saw yesterday between now and the end of the season. Perhaps not in every single game, because it might not be appropriate in every single game. But just imagine that he turns out performances in the majority of games that are just like that. Who's got a right to say that Carrick shouldn't be allowed to audition for the permanent role in the games that he has available this season? Why can't he audition? And if he passes the audition, why can't he be given the leading role? I don't see any reason why. Don't see any reason why not at all. Will he become the permanent head coach into next season? I don't know. Because we don't know what's going to happen between now and the end of the season. But what I think we should do is be logical. Let's imagine there's a series of switches that need to be put on in order for Carrick to be given the role permanently. So obviously the first switch is European qualification. To me, it doesn't matter whether it's Champions League or Europa League. It doesn't matter. I'd prefer it to be the Champions League, but look, at the beginning of this season, if you'd said to anybody, We'll qualify for Europe. That's what we'll do. We'd all been happy with that. I think we really would all have been happy with that. Any kind of European qualification. So that's switch number one. Let's say that switch number two is a style of play, an excitement about the way we play. Fans looking forward to matches, people turning up at Old Trafford, not thinking that it's kind of like a duty, but it's back to where it ought to be, a pleasure, an escape from the drudgery of everyday life, from hard work that most of us do. Going to Old Trafford should be fun. It should be an escape. It shouldn't feel like a pain. And for far too long, that's what it's felt like for an awful lot of people. Not just at Old Trafford, but watching on television too. There was nothing about that yesterday. That was pure escapist pleasure. And that's what Manchester United should be about. So that's the second switch. And for me, the third switch would be, if Carrick were to be given the job, would he have the same team around him that he currently does? Because quite clearly that team did absolute wonders in the 3 days that they had. So if those switches were on at the end of a season, European qualification, a Manchester United style of play, and a commitment that the team that is there now, by and large, would still be there at the beginning next season, why shouldn't he be given the job? What would be the alternative? What, give it to another continental hipster? Wait another season and a half on what was blindingly obvious? Yes, I know there are very, very, very good managers out there. I would absolutely love to see Tuchel at United. Ancelotti, absolutely. Pochettino, definitely. But I don't want any of those men chosen above Carrick if Carrick performs really well between now and the end of the season, gets us in Europe, shows us as playing a Manchester United way, and keeps that team of coaches together. And I don't think anybody has got any right to demand right now that Carrick shouldn't be in the frame at the end of this season. Now, if results go against him and performances go against him and we don't qualify for Europe, well, that's not an issue. And I'm certainly not asking for a Rio Ferdinand moment where we, write out the contract and put it in front of Carrick and he can write his name on it and put down any price that he wants. I'm not asking for that. He should definitely not be offered the role on a permanent basis until this season is concluded. But if this season concludes and it's as good as it was yesterday, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't get the work. So that's my fifth takeout. So there you go. 5 takeaways from yesterday's game. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like the kind of approach that I take, please subscribe. If you've got friends who you think would like what I produce on this channel, let them know about the channel too and try and persuade them to subscribe. If you want to make any kind of contribution to what I do here, I've got a Ko-fi account. The link is in the description. Any little would help to improve the technical quality of this channel, which I genuinely hope to do over the next few weeks and months. So could you do all of that? I'd be very grateful. Very small channel at the moment, about 10 subscribers. Let's just try and build that and grow it. And until next time, remain positively united. See you again.